Sabhaya Namaha. Today I am going to discuss on Srimad Bhagavadgeetha and its management. Let us see how it will be useful for the people upcoming to the job opportunities. Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Harim Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Janaki Nayakam Ramachandram Bhaje Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. One of the greatest contributions of India to the world is Holy Bhagavadgeetha, which is considered to be one of the first revelations, manifestation from God. The management lessons in this holy book were brought into the light of the world by divine sage Veda Vyasa. Bhagavad Gita is preached in the battlefield Kurukshetra by Lord Krishna to Arjuna as a counseling to do his duty while multitudes of men stood by waiting. It can be experienced as a powerful catalyst for transformation. Bhagavad Gita means song of the spirit, song of the Lord. The Holy Gita has become a secret divine force behind the unfoldment of one's life. In the days of doubt, this divine book will support all spiritual search. This divine book will contribute to self-reflection, finer feeling, and deepen one's inner process. The life in the world can become a real education, dynamic, full, and joyful, no matter what the circumstance. May the wisdom of the loving consciousness ever guide us on our journey. Mental health has become a major international public health concern now. Success is determined by willpower. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam jagtva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. It means, Arjuna, you work without attachment, steadfast in yoga, even-minded in success and failure. The problem that is facing us today is that while the world is coming closer theoretically, but it is drifting apart mentally and emotionally, hence all the conflicts and evidence, destruction and damage across the globe. The urgent need, therefore, is a reconciliation and reconditioning of the human mindset to inculcate a global vision and bring about the universal brotherhood. What Vivekananda sought. One should have willpower, which everyone can develop and strengthen through exercise and practice, just like any other skills. The real enemy of a human being is his own anger, lust and ego. Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha kamayesha krodhayesha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vidyena mihavairinam. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what impels one to commit sin as if unwillingly and forced against one's will? Lord Krishna said, it is the lust born out of passion that becomes anger when unfulfilled. Lust is the insatiable and is a great devil. Know this is the enemy. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror by dust, and as an embryo by the amnion, water bag. Similarly, self-knowledge gets covered by different degrees of this insatiable lust and eternal enemy of the wise. The Gita is especially suited for the purpose as it attempts to bring together varied and apparently antithetical forms of the consciousness and emphasizes the root conceptions of humanity which are neither ancient nor modern, belonging neither to the east nor the west, but eternal and universal. Fear of failure and negative mentality hold back decisiveness and take positive action, cause lack of inner strength, and allow external factors to shape one's life. Lord Krishna teaches his friend that this universe is pervaded by that which is indestructible, and Arjuna has no power to kill that. The body may die, but the soul never dies. It simply transmigrates to a new body, just as we get new clothes when our old ones are worn out. The strongest muscle in one's body is the heart, where also the power of life resides. According to Bhagavadgeetha, Lord Krishna emphasizes very much on a leader in any organization has to possess the qualities. Number one, he should manage the morale of the team. Number two, make sure to know and communicate. 3. Not settle for any activity but desired change. 4. Promise and then deliver it. Next, get evidence that the change is making a difference. Speed up change. Develop a reputation as the one who pushes change, seeks change. Have benchmarks of best practices and be able to assess your performance. Gita says that to see in the world, one should change his wish according to the situation. Work without desiring the result, and reunion do not come for mere talking about it. It is not attained by an intellectual feat. It is attainable, and renunciation do not come from mere talking about it. It is not at all attained by an intellectual feat. It is attainable only constant heart churn, hridaya mathana. Right knowledge is necessary for attaining renunciation. Learned may recite the Vedas from memory, yet they may be steeped in self-indulgence. In order that knowledge may not run riot, the author of the Gita has insisted on devotion accompanying it and has given it the first place. Knowledge without devotion will be like a misfire. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramati balavadrudam tasyaham nigraham manye vayorivadu sudushkaram. Mind is very restless, forceful and strong. Oh Krishna, it is more difficult to control the mind than to control the wind. Then Krishna advises, Asamshayam Mahabaho Manonurdurnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grishyate. O mighty armed one, undoubtedly the mind is fickle and difficult to master, but it can be controlled by diligent practice and detachment from sense enjoyment. Mind is nothing but soul power, mean Atma Shakti. It is brain that wants rest, means sleep, but not the mind. A yogi who has controlled the mind less sleeps. He gets a pure rest from meditation itself. The mind, being very subtle, is in close contact with other minds, though the human skull intervenes between them. All mind evolves. You come into conscious relation with the mental currents, with the minds of others. Mind is a material, mind is subtle, uh, because it may not give discrimination in different ways. It is self evident, it shines by its own light. But the organs derive their principle of activity and life from the soul. Just as the physical body is composed of solid, liquid, and gaseous matter, so also mind is made up of subtle matter of various grades of density with different rates of vibration. ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशे अर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्रारूढानि मायया. The Lord dwells in the hearts of all beings, O Arjuna, causing all beings by his illusive power to revolve as it is mounted on a machine. The yoga of being is self-evident when you see that the priceless treasure of health, happiness, freedom, and peace of mind are yours when you live them as a gift to others. The Gita teaches how to achieve harmony with divinity in the midst of disharmony. Disharmony. Lord Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilation the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium, yuge yuge. Truthfulness leads to righteousness. Righteousness leads to paradise. And a man keeps on telling the truth until he becomes a truthful person. Developing the habit of being focused ensures that you are awake, alert, and totally motivated to work on and complete the work at hand, whatever it may be. A compendium of management lessons, the most one. In simple terms, management is a body of knowledge that enables entities to deal with a multitude of situations involving people, process, and the environment. To ensuing work is done efficiently to deliver goods and services useful to the society. Good management must result in greater satisfaction for all stakeholders. If we carefully study the Gita, we infer that the central issue is all about doing work, I mean Karma Yoga, in the most efficient manner. The cardinal principles of karmanyeva adhikaraha mean right to work, and logical explanation leading to the proclamation that yoga karmasu kaushalam, yoga is skill in action, laid out in chapter 2 of the Gita, and the concept of yajna laid out in chapter 3 of Gita amply demonstrate that the fundamental requirements of good management are contained in the Gita only. Gita offers a framework for stimulating high levels of motivation. Otherwise, how can one explain the magic transformation that Arjuna has gone through from a state of fear, mental agony, and hair raising experience? Sidanti mama gatrani romaharshascha jayate, to one of waging a war against a battery of most credible and complete leaders in the society and eventually winning the war. A careful study of Gita from this perspective will lead us important principles that managers must inherit to create rightful and long living organizations. Such a study will help us to discover contain aspects of high performing organizations, and many provide vital clues for alternative paradigms of management. Alternative standard from Gita. One of the pressing problems that modern organizations face arise out of their notion of time. Modern organizations suffer from extreme levels of short-termism. Software companies in India provide what is known as quarter-on-quarter guidance. In simple terms, what it means is that they inform the market players and their stakeholders what can be expected of them in the next quarter. This invariably brings negative results in the long run. For example, it is customary in several organizations to slash training budgets and expenditure on research and development. Unfortunately, a series of short terms never makes a long term for any organization. One should know it. In the Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna's first lesson to Arjuna is to train his mind to the notion of time that is essentially long term. Ashochanavasochatvam prajnavadamsha bhashase gatasu nagatasumshya nanushocanti panditaha natvevaham jatunaham natvam neme jannatipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptihi dhirasatra namuhyati. A good understanding of their helps managers to feel less pressurized of performance targets in the short run and instead develop some conviction to engage in activities and decisions that seek to create balance between short term and long term. Change management becomes easier as they develop comfort in the fact that people come and go and good principles and ideas must remain and drive choices in organizations. Mate sangostva karmani. There is no choice to travel in inaction. Explaining the fourth component of this definition is easier. On seeing the first three components, one may come to the conclusion that one may rather choose not to engage in work. Managers will revert at the idea of doing work, but having no desire or control on outcomes. However, we do not realize that during our lifetime there have been several occasions when we indeed practice this virtue. We cease to look for outcomes and fruits of action during those moments of time. Simply extending this logic, we can easily conclude that Ma phaleshu kadachana concept simply enables us to get lost in the work forever and enjoy doing it. There are other important reasons for managers to actively consider practicing this idea. Some of them are as follows. Too much of result orientation breeds a sense of fear and discomfort, as several of us are very aware of failures. Moreover, a desire to have control of fruits of action will invariably force us to focus on ends instead of means. Because of this, process orientation will give way for result orientation. Getting results somehow will dominate individuals' behavior. As we see nowadays, such behavioral patterns have the potential not only to destroy individuals but also institutions. Results and outcomes are a matter of future, and work is a matter of present. Therefore, with excessive result orientation, one tends to escape the dynamics of present and go after future. The takeaway. Based on these illustrations from the Gita, managers can take away some simple yet powerful lessons. Developing a good sense of neutrality is an important prerequisite for discharging one's work very effectively. This may appear like a simple idea. However, it requires a deep contemplation of this idea and a conviction of its usefulness. Only out of such a conviction can one generate new behavioral patterns consistent with this idea. The current dominant paradigm, I must enjoy fruits of action as no work, will generate enormous amount of wasteful effort. Embracing the overreaching principle of karma yoga will have to be the alternative paradigm for improving the quality of management in organizations. If managers can take these two important lessons from the Gita, we can not only build an alternative paradigm of the management, but also succeed reasonably in the practice of management. That can be the greatest tribute we can offer to the sacred text of the Bhagavadgeetha. May Lord Krishna bestow his divine blessings on us to achieve this goal. Next, success and control of overall performance. Some management experts boast that nothing is impossible and success always is within their control. They say nothing succeeds like success and become over ambitious and overconfident and also triumphalistic and ultimately ruin themselves. The Gita's approach is realistic. The Gita invites our attention to all those factors which are collectively responsible for the accomplishment of all actions. Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha prutak vidham vividhasya prutak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. The seat of action, the doer, the instruments of various arts, the several different operations, and the fifth, providence. Whatever action, right or wrong, a man undertakes to do with his body, undertakes to do with speech and also mind. Success or failure of that undertaking depends upon these five factors. The seat of action is the frame of the body. Life and mind, which is the base or standing ground for the self. Third, the doer or the agent. The instruments are primarily the motor organs, the sense organs, and all other external instruments essentially for the task. Chesta are the various patterns of coordinated operation for the realization of objectives. Daivam is a complex term with suitable or subtle related shades of meaning. Basically, it specifies the overall texture of nature, which is interwoven with cause-effect relationship. Secondly, Daivam means the best actions of the cosmic order, which is beyond the control of human beings, even with the greatest foresight in planning his action. This factor should not be ignored while evaluating one's performance. It is not fate, fortune, or luck factor of the popular belief which intends to nullify the role of a person as an agent. The agent enjoys full freedom from attaining purusharthas, that is, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. The Gita encourages the individual to manage the integral himself first. Uddharedatmanatmanam atmanam avasadhayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. By oneself should one rise oneself and not allow oneself to fall. For all the self alone is a friend of the self, and self alone is the self's enemy, means one's own enemy. Planning with vision. Planning is a basic process by which we decide our goals and objectives and the ways and means to achieve them. Planning involves what is to be done, when it is to be done, where it is to be done, how it is to be done, and who is to do it. Hence, it is a beginning of the process of management. It identifies the purpose of mission of the organization, strategies, policies, and procedures to be adopted, programs and activities to be undertaken for fulfillment of the mission. Along with information and knowledge, planning requires wisdom and vision. The moving force behind every master plan and strategy is vision. The Gita advises us not to disregard this vision of truth. Ajnascha shraddhadanascha samshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro nasukam samshayatmanaha. Even the learned and most smart manager who is ignorant of the holistic vision, having no certitude, struggles in doubt and darkness, and ultimately perishes, means destroys. For neither this world nor the world to come, nor happiness is ever for the man who doubts. Controlling. The Gita's focus is on the conquest of the self. It does not believe in unnatural, severe austerities or restraint for enthralling or controlling the mind. It believes in sublimating the senses rather than suppressing the senses. Yato yato nischarati manaschanchalamastiram tatas tato niyamyaitat atmanyeva vasham nayet कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते. Whenever the mind unsteady and restless stays away from the Purushottama consciousness, let him ever and forever lead it to the sweetness and light of the self. He who withdraws himself from actions but ponders on the pleasures of the senses in his heart, he is under a delusion. He is called hypocrite. Nowadays, most of the managers have to work under circumstances which create physical and mental stress and strains. The Gita gives a practical solution for managing such stress and strains in the following way. To him who is well balanced in food and recreation, balanced in performing swakarma, balanced in working and sleeping, work and rest. This yoga gives relief from miserable stress and strains. Vision and leadership. Visionary leadership is the need of the day that can be developed by acquiring holistic vision of the Gita. This holistic vision enables managers to go through deep into human consciousness to understand, guide, motivate, and innovate and inspire their people by practicing the following profound management principles himself would set forth the eternal value system. Yadyadacharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. What a beautiful quote. Whatever the manager, leader does, others also do the same. Whatever the standards he sets forth, the values he embodies are hailed as a model by his subordinates, staff members. So he must ever be vigilant in performance of his duties. So the leader must be impartial. He can develop impartial views by practicing the behavioral patterns laid down for the Sthita Prajna, Yoga Ruda, and Gunatita. Motivation. For motivating and inspiring ourselves and our subordinates, the following mantras are very much promising. Klaibyam asmagamapartha naitatvam upapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktvortishta param tapa. Yield not to the impotence, bow not to covered feet. This does not befit your manly fortitude. Shake off this pitiable faint-heartedness. O Parantapa, arise to perform your warrior's duty with undaunted spirits. Conquest of one the self. Atmajayam. The example of leadership and motivation profounded in the Gita will ever remain a guiding star for the humankind. Arjuna, one of the greatest warriors of this time, was totally confused and dejected just before the commencement of war, and he refused to take any action. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahajano mahapapma vidyena miha vairinam. It is kama, that subtle egocentric desire. It is krodha. Kama itself turns into krodha, born of rajoguna. It is all consuming, all polluting. Know it as a man's greatest enemy on this earth. The enemy in the form of karma, formidable to encounter. For development of leadership qualities, this conquest of the self is the basic requirement. Finally, decision making. Modern manager faces many dilemmas as Arjuna faced before the commencement of the battle of Mahabharata. The holistic vision of the Gita develops an ability to analyze as well as synthesize all aspects of a particular situation to arrive at a particular decision. The man of steadfast wisdom can hardly commit blunders. That's why the Gita gives full freedom to a leader and a manager for decision making. It is one of the attitude. Iti me jnanamakyatam guhyat guhyataram maya vimrushyaitadasheshena yatechasi tata kuru. Here Gita excels in its approach to all prevalent principles of modern management. By importing the essence of Gita, we can produce enlightened managers and leaders to the society or business or any place so easily. This is one of the remedial aspects to all the kinds of business managements. Thus, Bhagavad Gita gives lot of solutions in various types of management skills and to produce good leaders who are the responsible for forthcoming generations. Okay, prayer. श्रीकांताय कल्याण निधे निधेदनाम श्री वेंकट निवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मंगलम मंगलाशासनपरे मदाचार्य पुरोगमे सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्ये सत्कृतायास्तु मंगलम्.